And welcome to another Sask Volleyball production. We have the U16 Division II Tier 1 Gold Medal Final. It's Ryan Schweitzer from the luxurious and palatial Legends Center in Warman, Saskatchewan, where the two teams in Division II have fought their way through the weekend and find themselves here in this final. In the forefront of your screen, we have the BVC Thunder Club from the Battlefords taking on RVC White out of Regina. RVC White out of Regina in the green jerseys, the BVC Thunder in the white jerseys in the forefront of your screen. And we're getting set and ready to go here in this D1 final. Serving first for RVC Regina, Peyton Miller. He gets set to go. We'll see how things go in the early stages here. Whenever a gold medal is on the line in any division, you can always anticipate some early match jitters. Two teams that have battled hard all throughout this April weekend to be here as Miller serves. BVC plays it, 3 hits, and that'll be helped over the net by Boston Pilipow. Regina sets up 3 hits, and Pilipow grabs that for BVC. Quick setter dump and a heads-up play by Regina to be all over that. As at the net, Boston Pilipow sent that over. Good rally here early on, something you don't typically see early. A little bit of a miscommunication, but they managed to get the ball over the net, and the rally continues. Teams competitive for this first point, and eventually buried. RVC's Richard Lee drops the hammer, and it's a 1-0 lead Regina early on. Wow, first point is any indication. We're going to have us a very competitive final here. D2 gold. Peyton Miller, second serve. Knuckler sent over, quick setter dump by Boston Pilipow. And that ball just rides the line. Referee calls it point BVC. 1 apiece here. First set. Serving now and coming into your screen momentarily is Boston Pilipow. Sends that over and in as he paints that back corner. Ace Pilipow. 2-1 lead. BVC, the Battlefords, facing Regina in this final. Pilipow induces play just over the net. Quick set, 3 hits. RVC blocked, and it lands on the green side of the net. Point, Battlefords. That time an impenetrable block thrown up by the white shirts. And they take a quick lead here. Pilipow, quick serve and through the fingertips of the Regina defender. And the team from the Battlefords up a field goal here. It's 4-1. Boston Pilipow. It's had some key touches early in this one. Quick serve set by Richard Lee. And they set up the third hit, and unable to get that through the block is Jordan Davidson-Zaffe. And now a 4-point lead. Larry Lenton, coach of the Regina team, pacing up and down the sidelines. Another point for BVC may induce a timeout. We'll see. Third hit and tipped over the net by Sterenchuk. Now set up and lowering the boom for BVC, Adam Revitt. Off a green shirt and out of bounds. And timeout called Larry Lenton, as he's going to bring the troops in and have a quick conversation. A good start here by BVC. Couldn't draw it up any better. These two teams with a big rally early for the first point. And since then, everything decisively going the way of the white and purple-shirted team representing the Battlefords, Amanda Thane. Positive reinforcement for her crew. As she has a chat. On the flip side, Larry Lenton trying to stifle the momentum that the Battlefords have seized early here in this U16 D2 Tier 1 final at the Legends Center in Warman. BVC trying to keep momentum going. Timeout called is Boston Pilipow. He'll serve again, his 5th time. We'll see if the timeout called by RVC will stifle this BVC momentum. Pilipow, another solid serve. Third hit coming, RVC off the block. And the third hit will be sent over by BVC. Fundamentally sound start. Regina sets up the third hit, blocked. And they do manage to salvage that. BVC coming to play in the final. Lee off the block. Battle at the net and point. Battleford's in the net. The Regina player in green. And it's a 7-1 lead here in the first set. Philiplau. And that ball zigging when Corey Redwood was expecting it to zag on the Regina side of the court. And it's 8-1. Boston Philiplau to the back of the court. Played by Chamberlain. Tip and finding some vacant court and finally busting up that serve. Richard Lee, who's been a solid presence at the net early for Regina. And 8-2 the score. Regina seizing serve after some Battleford's momentum. Jordan Davison-Zaffe to serve for RVC. Battleford's Philiplau off the block. Big swing there by Revitt. Now on the other side, tipped. And managing to find some vacant court, Jackson Philiplau. 9-2 Battleford's. The aforementioned Philiplau to serve. Played by Regina. Lee! And Richard Lee sees some vacant court. Delivers that ball promptly to floor. Point, green. Sterling Storanchuk to serve now, Regina. Storanchuk played to the back. Philiplau. Big swing! Nick Rutan. Point. Battlefords, they win the race to double digits. It's 10-3. Nick Rutan with that hit moments ago. Doesn't quite get that serve off like you would have hoped, and now Richard Lee will serve for Regina. Played by BVC. Tipped at the net. Third hit coming up. Big swing. We've seen lots of big swings from the Battlefords. As Regina sends that ball over on the third hit, Philiplau. Off the block. Good rally here between these two teams. Philiplau has no choice but to push it to the back of the court where Davison-Zaffe was waiting. Now tipped over the net, Redwood. Battlefords respond. Big swing. Digging that out is Regina, and that ball careens out of bounds. Good take by Daniel Plett of the Battlefords. Point, purple. Adam Revitt to serve. Richard Lee. Tough angle on that and making something out of nothing on that far side. Peyton Miller. Didn't look like he had the angle to pull that off, but he kept it between the antennas. Point, Regina, 5 serving 11. First set here, race to 25. U16 D2 final. Ball comes over the net, played by Rutan. Far side, setting up for the big hit was Plett, and he couldn't get that swing through the block. Point, Regina, 6 serving 11. Corey Redwood. Redwood floats that serve in, Philiplau, and pushed over the net by BVC. Russell Hicks, and ball out of bounds. Good take by the Battlefords. They'll get the point. 12 serving 6 forthcoming. Daniel Plett. Plett induces play just over the tape. One hit and over. Philiplau pushes it to the back. Redwood with the blocker save there, and Regina sends it over on 3 hits, but out of bounds. Battlefords watch that sail out, and Plett will serve again with his team hitting 13. 13 serving 6 now. Plett will wait for the traffic to pass him by. and induced play with that serve. Regina takes, ball sails out of bounds. 7 serving 13 as RBC's Connor Chamberlain makes his way to the back of the court. He'll serve for his team. Battleford's consistently with a 6 to 7 point lead in this one. Piliplau. Hicks sends it over the net. And Hicks finds some vacant court. Point Battleford's. And substitution here. Regina's going to change up some personnel. Redwood out. Maxim Lloyd in the middle of the court. And that goes to Lloyd, played by the player beside him, Davison Zaffe. Quick tip over by Regina. Battleford's respond. Big swing, but off the antenna as Jackson Piliplau ran out of real estate. Point Regina. Peyton Miller to serve. Miller just over the tape. Good dig by the Battlefords and helped over the net by Nick Rutan. 3 hits set up for Regina. Big swing. Jordan Davidson Zaffe. 9 serving 14. Regina cutting the deficit to 5 here, first set. Miller, the serve. Dug out by the Battlefords. They're going to have to hurry and try to recover this, and unable to string 3 hits together and clear the net. The white side. Point. Regina. 10-14. And you sense momentum may be shifting to the Queen City Kids in the green and yellow. Battlefords set off the serve and bumped over on the 3rd hit by Jackson Piliplau. Regina now setting up the 3rd hit. Quick set, quick delivery. Sterling Storanchuk finds vacant court. And the deficit for Regina now is but 3. 14-11 favoring the Battlefords in the white. In the forefront of your screen. Miller with the serve. And the Battlefords unable to respond fully to that serve. And now Amanda Thane is going to call a timeout after a series of consecutive points for the squad from Regina. Well, this first set in the championship final of D2 has had some ups and downs. Quick start for the Battlefords. They jumped out to a 9-point lead early, but over the past few points, things decisively going the way of the RBC White Regina squad. Amanda Thane, head coach of the Battlefords, calling a timeout, trying to stifle this Regina momentum. Coaching staff for RBC, Larry Lenton, head coach, Doug McKay, Sandy Ma. A few pats on the back in the green and yellow huddle. Peyton Miller's been dealing. He'll serve for RBC. Miller, knuckler serve. Jackson Piliplau, quick hit, and promptly sent over the net by Rutan. Unable to recover after Rutan sent that ball over the net is Regina, and now Boston Piliplau, who's been a strong presence on the court for his team. The BVC Thunder will serve. Piliplau, played by Lee. They're going to set Lee up, far side, swings with the left hand off the block and out of bounds. Point Regina. High degree of difficulty play for Richard Lee. And he showed some athletic inclination using the left hand, hitting that ball off of the block and earning his team a point. Corey Redwood subs back in. Redwood for Lloyd, reversing a substitution made moments ago. Jordan Davidson-Zaffe to serve for Regina. Float serve. Piliplau. Ruten's got to hurry, and he'll bump that over. Backcourt, Davidson-Zaffe. Setting up Richard Lee. Played back row by the Battlefords. And that's helped over the net by Adam Revitt. Recovered by Regina. Redwood punches it over. Battleford setting up that third hit. Going back door. Jackson Piliplau. And Piliplau, forward momentum carrying him too far. Point, Regina. 15-14. Can the Battleford's base team snatch momentum back as Regina's but within a point after trailing early in this set? Piliplau, and pushed over the net by Revitt. Redwood. Just in bounds. First swing of the match, Corey Redwood delivers. 15 apiece. Regina battling through in this first set after they trailed decisively early on. Battleford's just looking to snatch some momentum back. Quickly helped over the net by Nick Ruten. Regina chasing it down. Off the ceiling as a bit too much heat put on that ball, and the Battlefords get possession back, 16-15. And now Jackson Piliplau will try and engineer some forward momentum. In a sport where that momentum is so valuable and can shift so quickly. Quick set. Battleford's onto it. Piliplau setting up backdoor. Adam Revitt. Cross court, out of bounds. Point Regina. Sterling Storanchuk. And Storanchuk doesn't quite make it over the net with that offering. Nick Ruten. Ruten serves that ball, setting up Lee. Lee, the lefty, off the block, no answer. Point, Regina. 17-17. Richard Lee, spinning serve out of his left hand. Big block, Regina. Battleford's recovers. And pushed over the net by Revitt, into the net. And point, Regina. Regina battling hard to earn this lead. 3 hits. Battleford looking for that third hit and sent over the net by Plett. Pushed to the back of the court. Lee setting up back door for the big hit. Peyton Miller too far. Taken by the Battlefords. 18-18. Substitution Regina. Greg Svein Bjornsson is going to check into this one. Jordan Davidson-Zaffe will head to the sidelines. Adam Revitt now serving for BVC. Lee. Redwood. The block was there. 19-18. Revitt. Too much gas on that serve through the court. Point Regina, 19 apiece. Starting to wonder if 25 will be enough in this opening set. U16 D2 gold medal game. Redwood serves it to the back. Revitt. And now with the third hit, sending that over the net is Plett. Regina recovering. Svein Bjornsson off the block. Battleford's unable to dig that out. Greg Svein Bjornsson, his first swing results in a point for the green side. Redwood to serve, his team leading 2019. Personnel change, BVC, Connor Hiscock. Oh, wanted to check in that point, took his time getting there. Battlefords will continue with this personnel as that ball is ushered over the net by Plett. Setting up the third hit, Regina, Svein Bjornsson. Dug by Piliplau, sent over the net. And Regina eventually clears that ball after some adventures in their own side of the court. Battleford's with the hit, Svein Bjornsson off the block. Piliplau, big hit, Plett. And Piliplau at the net, opportunistically trying to bury that. Can't get it over. Point, Regina. Substitution, Battleford's. Connor Hiscock in. Daniel Plett gets some high fives from the coaches as he heads off. Corey Redwood serving. Piliplau, and pushed over by Rutten. Miller, Richard Lee, Svein Bjornsson. Battleford's race for that ball and run out of room. Point, Regina. And timeout called, Battleford's. (22-19). Regina 3 points away from putting a bow on a first set victory. BVC Thunder, out of the Battlefords, have other plans. Seen our share of momentum shifts in set one here. Set one has been fantastic. Great U16 volleyball. Very entertaining game put on by these two teams here. Can't wait for set two. Few things left to decide in set one, though, as the Battlefords just unable to clear that ball and return that serve from Redwood. 23-19. Redwood sent over the net. And that ball with a few twists and turns on it, not returned from the Battleford side of the court. And Regina, after significantly trailing early in this first set, 1 point away as they lead at 24-19. Redwood sent over the net, Piliplau at the net. Two teams battle for it. That'll be a point, Battlefords. No first set victory for Regina yet. 20-24, 1 point at a time now for BVC. Connor Hiscock sent over the net, Svein Bjornsson. Lee off the block, Battlefords recover. And pushed over the net by Jackson Piliplau. Richard Lee, Svein Bjornsson. Dagger, first set. Regina takes it. Regina only with one of the first 10 points in this one, but they get the last one. 25-20, first set win. RVC White out of Regina in this D2 Tier 1 gold medal final. Regina with a first set win here in the gold medal final, D2 Tier 1 here. These teams met in pool play. BVC with a 3-set win, and they will need history to repeat here in the gold medal final if they want to beat Regina after that 25-20 first set win that we just experienced moments ago. BVC to serve, Russell Hicks. With his team trailing 1-0. Hicks induces play. Played by Davison Zaffe and sent over the net by Davison Zaffe. Diving stab at that one by BVC and pushed over the net by Nick Rutten. Regina recovers. Richard Lee, backdoor, big swing. Peyton Miller off the block. That ball careening out of bounds. Miller, with that hit moments ago, will serve now. One 1-0 Regina lead. Hicks, first contact, and eventually sent over by Rutten. Double hit called by the referee on the Regina side. Point Battlefords. Boston Pilliplau to serve. BVC Thunder in white taking on RVC White out of Regina in the green. Pilliplau, Richard Lee, Miller, back Davidson Zaffe. Not the best swing that Davidson Zaffe's put on the ball today, but sometimes the changeup works in lieu of the fastball, and that one finding some vacant court. Point Regina, who fell behind early in the first set, but seized momentum and did not give it up. Davidson Zaffe. Battleford's 3 hits. Rutan off the block. Redwood was there. Storanchuk was there. Solid net play by Regina. They have a 3-1 lead. Davidson Zaffe sends that ball just over the tape. One hip back on the Regina side. Punched over by the Battlefords. And now Richard Lee. Redwood swinging from the left. And it's going to be point Battlefords. Extra contact made there by Regina. Jackson Pilliplau to serve. Personnel change. Greg Svein Bjornsson comes in. Jordan Davison Zaffe out. Jackson Pilliplau sends that ball over. Miller, Redwood, dug out by the Battlefords. And hit over on 3 hits and no answer after that ball was cleared over the net by Connor Hiscock. Point Battlefords. 3 apiece, second set. Jackson Pilliplau to the back of the court. Chasing that ball down is Miller, and Corey Redwood sends that over on the 3rd hit. Back row Pilliplau. Rutan through everybody. Point Battlefords. Diving personnel unable to corral that ball as it screamed through Regina's end of the court. 4-3 lead for the team in white. Jackson Pilliplau sent over, played back row, Svein Bjornsson, Redwood, and Lee will usher that ball over the net to Jackson Pilliplau. Boston Pilliplau and Adam Revitt setting that over on the 3rd hit, where Regina's Richard Lee buries that ball just a little bit out of bounds. Lee with that swing from the right side going cross court, didn't miss by much. Point Battlefords 5-3, they lead it. Jackson Pilliplau. Played at the back of the court. And a quick heads-up play, good communication. Miller and Storanchuk. Peyton Miller the quick set. Storanchuk timing that well to bury that ball. Scintillating point for Regina. Now Sterling Storanchuk subbed out. Luke Herchuk will check into this game. Herchuk serving after coming off the bench moments ago. Played by the Battlefords, Boston Pilliplau, and sent over the net by Hiscock. Backdoor Lee. And point Regina out of bounds, touched by the Battlefords. Luke Herchuk's second serve. 4 serving 5. Back row, Jackson Pilliplau, Boston Pilliplau, and pushed over by Revitt. Herchuk, Miller, and Miller, that one just going through his hands. Not to the referee's liking. Points Battlefords, 6 serving 5. Nick Rutan sent over. Played by RVC. Lee. Out of bounds. Contact made. 2-point lead Battlefords. 8-6. Regina with a 25-20 first set win. Rutan sends it over. First hit set, and Redwood tips that over. Boston Pilliplau pushes it to the back of the court where Regina has to hurry to grab it. Svein Bjornsson, and now Redwood. Played by the Battlefords. Revitt, far side. Double contact made on the Battleford side, point Regina. Richard Lee. Left-handed Lee. Backcourt Hiscock. And on the third hit, sent over the net by Hicks. Peyton Miller! Through everybody, lowering the boom for Regina. Seven apiece. Richard Lee. Played by Rutan. Boston Pilliplau. And Revitt unable to negotiate that ball over the net. Point Regina. 8-7. Richard Lee. Dug out by Jackson Pilliplau. And at the net, Peyton Miller. Heads up play. As that ball walked the tightrope. And Miller depositing it hard into the opposition court. Point Regina, they're up a deuce. Richard Lee. Setting that through the court. 8 serving Niner. Personnel change for BVC. Cody Greening is going to check in. He will sub out Revitt. Battleford's with 3 subs on their bench. Regina has 2. So 2 teams not with extra personnel going through a grueling weekend here as Richard Lee, quick set, nobody there. Timing just a bit off for Regina on that point. Battleford's win that point. Greening to serve. All tied up at 9. Greening. Sends it over the net, played by Svein Bjornsson, and now Redwood off the block. Point Regina, 10-9. Corey Redwood. Redwood seemingly getting better as this final gets longer. Served over the net, no answer from the Battlefords. Point Regina. And that'll make it 11-9. Redwood. Teams battle at the net, and that'll be point Battlefords as it lands on Regina's side. Connor Hiscock to serve. Hiscock just clears the net. Hairchuck, Lee, good swing on that by Svein Bjornsson. Off the block, Battlefords recover, and now Pilliplau off the block. Ball sailed out of bounds off that block. Point Battlefords. 11-11. Connor Hiscock with the serve. Quick set, Lee. Battlefords push it over. Redwood. Lee. Miller buries it. 12-11 Regina. Now serving for Regina, Connor Chamberlain. And Chamberlain's ball just sails out of bounds. Point BVC. Tightly contested final as expected. Russell Hicks. Float serve. Lee and Hairchuck. Well done. Sent over the net. Hicks. Lee. Hairchuck. Through the court. Point Battlefords. And now Russell Hicks. Sveinbjornsson, Lee, Sveinbjornsson off the block. And over the center line, one of the players for the Battlefords, point Regina. Referees bringing their A game as well. It's 13 serving 14 here. Regina with a 25-20 first set win. Peyton Miller. Miller with the serve. Battlefords. Third hit sent over. Jackson Pilliplau. Miller. Sveinbjornsson off the block through the court. And the Battlefords unable to corral that ball after the Sveinbjornsson hit. 14-14. Peyton Miller. Hicks. Rutan. Sent over. Lee. Sveinbjornsson off the block. Dug by Greening. And the third hit, Pilliplau. Off of a defender through the court. Point Battlefords. Boston Pilliplau to serve. Personnel change. Greening out. Adam Revitt back in. Boston Pilliplau. The serve. Redwood. Miller. Richard Lee. Big swing by Lee. Point Regina. Greg Sveinbjornsson serving. Drills that ball just over the net. Jackson Pilliplau and pushed over by Hicks. Herchuk. Miller. Lee. Dug out of the net. No response after the Lee contact. Point Regina. 16-15. Regina RVC leading. Greg Sveinbjornsson. Serving a little closer to center court. Ace. 17-15. Sveinbjornsson goes to that spot. This time Hicks plays it and pushed over the net. Revitt. Miller. Lee. And Lee going for the setter dump, but into the net. Point Battlefords. 17-16, Jackson Pilliplau. Pilliplau, played by Sveinbjornsson. Miller, and Sveinbjornsson off the block. Nick Rutan anticipating where that ball was going and timed it perfectly. Big block with gusto and verve by Seven and White. Sent over the net. Played back, Miller, Herchuk. Point is going to go the way of the Battlefords. Larry Lenton not agreeing with that assessment from the referee, ruling that Herchuk went over the net to play that ball. Now Jackson Pilliplau. Sveinbjornsson. Miller chases that down, but not through the antennas, out of bounds. Point Battlefords. 19-17. And timeout called here by Larry Lenton, the first of this final. Back and forth action here as you'd want any final to be between these two teams. BVC Thunder out of the Battlefords, RVC White out of Regina. Timeout called by Regina. Some consecutive points from the Battlefords. Some calls that perhaps Larry Lenton might not agree with. And he wants to change up the pace of this game here. And encourages players to perhaps put any adversity behind them as they move on to the final few points here of this second set. Regina wins this set. They win the D2 gold. Battleford's trying to force a third set race to 15. These two teams met in round robin play. A third set was necessary. BVC and White took that game in round robin play. And they're trying to force the third set here at the Legends Center in Warman. Jackson Pilliplau. Everyone's in their places. Pilliplau, Svein Bjornsson, and Lee off the block through the court. Point Regina. And Regina seizes serve. It'll be 18, serving 19. Sterling Storanchuk. Storanchuk just over the net. Played by Hicks, Pilliplau, and Rutan bumps it over on the third hit. Miller, Redwood. Dug out by the Battlefords. Miller chases it down. Lee. And sent over the net. Connor Chamberlain. Finding some vacant court on the BVC side. 19-19. Sterling Storanchuk, his second serve. Hicks. Boom! Chamberlain. Point Regina. And Regina with a 20-19 lead. Sterling Storanchuk. Hicks. Boston Pilliplau and Rutan palms it over. Lee. Miller. Chamberlain again. And sent over by the Battlefords. Miller. Redwood. And the lefty Redwood. Great work with the setter Lee to get that point. 21-19 Regina. Corey Redwood, that left-hander on the left side, able to make a play that righties might not have been able to. And it's going to be a timeout call now by Amanda Thane and her Battleford squad. With Regina 4 points away from D2 gold, it's 21-19 for the green and yellow. What a volleyball game between these two squads. Battlefords. Just over an hour drive to get here to the Legends Center in Warman. RVC, about a 2.5 hour jaunt from the Saskatchewan Queen City to get here. That drive back to Regina would go a lot quicker with a gold medal for Regina. That's what they're hoping for here. Sterling Storanchuk, his team up 21-19. U16 D2 Tier 1 final. Storanchuk serves, and the Battlefords take and watch that ball sail out of bounds. 21-20, Nick Rutan to serve. Rutan sends it to the back of the court. Storanchuk plays it. Miller, Lee, dug by Boston Pilliplau, Revitt, and sent over the net by Hiscock. Regina chasing that down. Redwood! Played by Jackson Pilliplau. And unable to send it over the net of the Battlefords. Point, Regina. 22-20. Richard Lee. Richard Lee, Jackson Pilliplau, Boston Pilliplau. Big hit and a block by Redwood. Adam Revitt stepped into that one. The block was there. Now Miller off the block. And we have ourselves a rally. Redwood sends it over. Diving are the Battlefords. And it's a point, Regina. 23-20. Richard Lee. His team 2 points away from D2 gold. Sent over. Dug by Regina on the Battleford side, and Revitt pushes it over. Svein Bjornsson. Lee. Redwood. Off of personnel. Through the court. Point. Regina. 24-20. Richard Lee. And RVC. One point away. 24-20. Lee just over the net. Jackson Pilliplau, Boston Pilliplau, sent over the net. Hiscock. Lee. Redwood. Off the block. Out of bounds. Division II, Tier 1 gold. Heading to the Queen City, RVC White out of Regina. Leaving Warman with that gold medal. A 2-set win, competitive final. Credit to the BVC Thunder. Putting on one heck of an entertaining game here. Two teams that battled it out throughout the weekend to make it to this final. And it's gold. RVC White out of Regina.